Do I need to stay on Hem Healer? That's one of the big questions that we get once people are all got their hemorrhoids gone. They're like, okay, what's my next step? Do I continue taking the extra strength, or you've got these other products? What do we do? Well, that's what we're going to cover today. So many times that's why we have a phone line. I'll leave the number down here if anybody wants to call. Because the whole thing is that everybody's different. Everybody's body's different. Everybody's situation is different, right? So it can be caused by genetics. It can be caused by a job where you're sitting a lot. I got a lot of truck drivers, right? It can be caused by stress. A lot of times people that get put on certain types of medication, opioids, stuff like that can cause it. I've had some people that have had COVID and have told me that they got hemorrhoids after catching COVID. So there's a lot that goes into it. So here's the big thing. Most people start with the extra strength, right? They get on the extra strength. They feel great. Their hemorrhoids are gone. And they're like, okay, what do I do next? Well, here's the thing. If you have a job that you sit or you're under a lot of stress, our Defend, which is a healthy blood flow, plus an anti-inflammatory. So it keeps your vascular system nice and healthy, keeps the inflammation down. And once they're gone, it just keeps it that way for you. And our Defend product works amazing. It was actually the original formula that we had here before we created Extra Strength. So the Defend is really great. You go to hemhealer.com. You can get on the monthly plan like dirt cheap. Because the whole thing is like, if they're gone and you are sitting a lot, the chances of them coming back are going to be high, right? Because you've got a lot of pressure right on that point. And it's easier for inflammation to set in, right? So, because a lot of people are like, hey, if your product works and I've got to take this again, they kind of get upset with me sometimes. And I'm like, look, if you get a job where you're like super stressed out, you're sitting on your butt, plus you're taking in processed foods and sugar and all this other stuff, plus you might have high blood pressure, like it's going to be hard for this thing to fix it completely forever. Right? So that's always the thing to remember. Plus, too, is constipation. Constipation causes a lot of problems with hemorrhoids. So we actually created a fiber pill that is specifically made for the hemorrhoid sufferer. What I mean by that is we don't use psyllium husk. Psyllium husk actually can cause a lot of digestive problems with people. So if you already don't have like the best digestive tract, like moi, psyllium husk is a beast. It's not good. So we use a high quality oat fiber, and then I put some cayenne in there, which is an anti-inflammatory. So, it helps keeping everything flushing through the system. Plus you have an anti-inflammatory, so as it's moving through, it's not causing any problems. So that's a really, really good thing to stay on if you're constipated. Our Defend is great to stay on if, like I said, you've got a job where you're sitting a lot, you're stressed out, you're chronic, you've had them for over 10 years. All those things, if you have a hard time with your diet and you like sugar or processed foods, right? You eat a lot of fast food, anything like that. Sometimes you just look, I spent years on the road. I get it. It's hard to eat healthy if you've got a job where you're on the road and moving around a lot, or if you're just a really busy, insanely busy person. It's hard. So then there's the Defend to stay on. These are all you can get at hemhealer.com. I'll leave the link down there. And those two things work really, really great. And you just stay on them. Now, if you've been battling for a number of years, you're like, hey, I'm a real healthy person, and this is a weird thing. They pop up every once in a while. I'm like, look, the chances of them showing back up again are a lot smaller than people that are, have jobs that they're sitting down or they're stressed out. So the chances of you needing a monthly subscription isn't there. I had them for 15 years, and I had a lot of pain around them, man. They were really bad. They were internal and external. And what I can tell you is, I changed my diet around, my lifestyle, everything changed around after I got rid of them. And if I start dabbling, it's like this time of year, I'm shooting this the day after Christmas. So it's like you start feeling, you start eating sugars and stuff, you can start feeling all of that not doing well in your backside. Right. So for me, it's something where obviously I've got bottles around. But I always have a bottle of Extra Strength on hand, because if I ever do feel it kind of coming on, 2 or 3 days and gonzo. So I usually tell people like that, where it's like, well, I have had people where I'm like, well, I really want to like stay on it, do a month. I'm like, we can do that. Or just keep a couple of bottles on hand. That's like one of the best things you can do. All right, well, I hope this video helped. If you guys have any other questions, leave them down below. I'm trying to do a few more Q&A stuff. I get a lot of people wanting some more information. I'm doing my best to put out as much information I can to help as much. You know, obviously, you can click any links here. Phone number's down there. Give us a call. Any way we can help. All right. I hope this helped, and we'll talk to everybody soon.